UFC 322 Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. I'm here to provide you my full card picks and predictions on the entire fight card. This is the best card of the year. I'm so looking forward not only to watching it, but talking about it here with you guys. Before we get started, we'll quickly recap how we did for last week's card, which was UFC Vegas 111, Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. Over on the card went 8-4, 4-3 on the prelims, and 4-1 on the main card. Also had a dog in CLD. Wish I got the other Bonfim one back, but obviously I make these predictions before fighters make or miss weight, so kind of had no control over that one. But 8-4 was okay. Looking to do better with a 14-fight slate on Saturday. And of course, if you want all of these predictions early, all these picks early, if you want all of my premium plays, not only just for this fight card, or for the UFC, but on basketball, tennis, baseball, football, absolutely crushing. Just some numbers: up 9.75 units in the NBA, up 9.81 units in the NFL, and up 2.66 units on college basketball as well. So come lock in with us. The Discord is in the channel description. It's $14.99 a month, and you get a free week with that. I'm running a promo where you get a free week included with that month, and it's a fraction of anyone else's cost, and I guarantee you I do better on any other sport. Come lock in with us, and of course, please subscribe to the YouTube. We're at about 730 subscribers. Once we reach 1,000, would love to do another giveaway like we did when we reached 500. I love doing this for you guys, and want to start building more on the YouTube channel, the same way I've been able to do on TikTok. This is so much more fun for me, so hopefully you guys can help me with that if you guys value what I do for you guys as well. But like I said, it's 14 fights. We'll start with the main event, and I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of this entire card. I give it a 9.5. The entire card itself. Main card is a 10. You literally can't get better than this main card, honestly, for what the UFC is at this point. You know, like they used to really stack cards, and they have stacked a few cards this year, but none has been a 10 pre-card, if you know what I mean. So this one, main card, absolutely a 10, and I'll give the rest a 9, which is why it's at like a 9.5. But who knows how these fights are going to go. I think the night will go around similar, maybe 8.5, 9 at the end of the day, which is an amazing card. I really don't want to miss any fight either, but let's just get to it. Main event, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Obviously, 18-fight win streak for Jack Della, 15-fight win streak for Islam. Jack is going to be an inch taller, 2.5-inch reach, and same leg reach advantage. I mean, listen, I've said this before. We just don't know what Islam is going to look like at 170. I think we have an idea of what he's going to look like. I mean, we can physically see him. We kind of know, or we definitely know what his game plan is coming into this fight and every other fight. And the extra weight is going to come to his advantage. The only thing that is a disadvantage here is how great Jack Della is with takedown defense, with scrambling, and just overall just being able to just keep this on the feet. And that's where I think he obviously holds that advantage. There are moments in other fights where he has scrambled and he's put himself in some tricky situations. Might not fly with Islam, so I'm interested to see how Islam's going to be able to hold control of Jack on the cage, how Jack is going to be able to try to get up and not give up his back, because that's the absolute worst thing he can do here. Trying to get out of submissions as well. I mean, Islam is so tricky. He's much more offensive than a Belal. Now, the JDM versus Belal fight, JDM was a dog. I picked JDM in that fight. I thought he was going to win by TKO rounds 2 or 3. Belal's chin did end up holding up more than I thought it would. But I really did feel like Jack was going to be able to stuff those takedowns. He was going to be able to keep it on the feet and just piece him up. And that's exactly what he did. But Belal is not the offensive wrestler that Islam is. Islam is trying to take you down, and he's going to try to finish you in any way possible. And I think that's the scariest part for JDM, is that at some point he's going to be on his back in this fight, and it's so important to see how he reacts to that. Not just staying on his back. He can lose a round, but just the chess match that's going to play with Islam being in top control, being inside control. I think those things are going to be so important in this fight, because we know as the fight progresses, JDM only gets better. Islam tends to slow down a bit. He tends to wear it a bit also. You know, he is hittable. He is hittable. Interested to see how the power translates to 170 because he had some decent power, nothing crazy. At 155, we know JDM has significant power, but if anything, he just has accuracy, and that's what you need against someone like Islam. Because listen, even at Dustin's old age, he had accuracy against Islam. Did you see Islam after that fight? Or that first fight with Volk, the smaller man? He was so technical in that fight. Obviously, was still taken down. Could have gone either way. Islam got his hand raised that fight, and honestly, it's not like you can call it a robbery. Let's say it's just going to be such an interesting chess match. This one specifically, which is why I'm talking about it so much. It's the main event. Don't worry, I will not be talking about every other fight like this. But I'm going to lean with my boy. I'm going to lean with JDM. I picked him as a dog to win against Bilal, who was also on an insane win streak. Or unbeaten streak because of the Leon thing. The first Leon fight, I should say. We know what we're getting out of him. We already know. Despite Islam's greatness, and if he wins, I mean, he's already arguably the lightweight GOAT. It's hard to just come up in weight. It's 15 pounds. It's hard to come up in weight and then fight for a championship. When was the last time that was truly successful? Not counting Ilya, because Ilya fought Charles. Matchup-wise, just major disadvantage for Charles there. I mean, couldn't have. And Charles also wasn't the champ. Hasn't been a champ for years at this point. Kind of all knew how that fight was going to go. I'm gonna ride with JDM. I think the first 2 rounds are absolutely the scariest. If he is able to level out those first 2 rounds and even go 1-1, this fight is absolutely his. Absolutely his. He cannot lose the first 2 though. He needs to find a way to win one of those 2. And I think there's a chance he can win that first one. If he keeps it on the feet, they're still going to be very dry. He's going to need to keep it on the feet as much as possible. Islam's still going to be making reads. He might even attempt a takedown or 2 within those 5 minutes. If JDM's able to take that away from him, I think JDM has a chance to win that first round. He might get taken down in that second at that point. But listen, you have to even out the first 2 rounds at the very least to have a shot against someone like Islam. But give me JDM, and still, as a dog, JDM right now, plus 210. It's just been moving. I mean, listen, he's fighting the lightweight GOAT. Give me Della Maddalena to win by decision. Next up, Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. Obviously, Weili is coming up in weight to fight the strawweight GOAT in Valentina Shevchenko. Weili absolutely dominant. Only lost to Rose. Has only lost to Rose in her division. Obviously, the first one kind of got caught. Second one was a very close fight. Ended up going Rose's way, rightfully so. I believe it was 3-2. And then after that, just been on an absolute run. Just an absolute tear as she's been doing this entire time. She's just been looking better and better. And now she's coming up in weight, and she's fighting Valentina Shevchenko, someone who also was on a massive win streak aside from Amanda Nunes. She dared to be great as well, and ends up getting caught by Alexa Grasso. Then honestly wins the next fight, ends up being a draw, and then she just absolutely wet blankets her in the next fight, and then ends up winning. Versus Manon Fiorot in her last fight, which was the same card as JDM Bilal, and I also took her, and she was a dog. I took Valentina by decision. Was not looking that great the first round. I mean, she got really hit in her nose. It was bloody, potentially broken, and then she leaned on her wrestling, and that's something she's been doing as her career has progressed, is because she's getting slower, obviously. Look at her stance and just look at the way she flows and she moves after that set first round. After that first round and a half, I mean, she's a little bit more flat-footed. The kicks aren't stinging in as much. The jabs aren't stinging as much. She's becoming, obviously, wiser. She's becoming more aware of what she has to do to win these fights. And I think that's the way she's going to view this fight, is that she's going to need to wrestle. She's not going to want to wrestle. She's going to need to wrestle Weili, because Weili, despite being, how old is Weili at this point? Because she's also not that young. She's 36. Valentina, I believe, is 37. She's 30. Despite only being a year younger, she's still significantly more quicker. And now we have to see, significantly quicker, sorry. And now we have to see how those 10 pounds affect her movement. Because we know she's already strong as hell, and she can wrestle these 115-pounders, these straw weights, 100%. Now, it's interesting to see how she's going to deal with Valentina and her size, and how her power is going to translate also with Valentina. It's going to be another chess match. I think a lot of this is going to stay on the feet as well. If it's up to Weili, it stays on the feet, and she's going to be able to beat someone like Shevchenko. She's going to be a little smaller, shorter, and a 4-inch reach disadvantage here, and a 2-inch leg reach disadvantage. She has all the disadvantages in terms of anatomy, but honestly, I don't think it's going to affect her that much. I really don't. I think Weili at this point is way better than what Shevchenko has been showing. Obviously, I made the whole spiel about Islam coming up, and now Weili's coming up. But at least, JDM's 29 in his prime, just turned 29, literally just reached his athletic and physical prime. And then we have Valentina, who's on the decline, in my opinion. She's been on the decline since that first Grasso fight, 4 fights ago. I think Weili is going to be stronger. I think she's going to hit her more. I think that she can get in dominant positions on the ground as well. I think Weili is the best women's fighter in the world, and I think that she becomes a 2-division champ 100% on Saturday. Now Weili is plus 100 right now. She was a pick'em. Now she's an underdog. I'm going back-to-back underdogs for the first 2 fights. I just don't see how Weili loses. If she gets taken down, she'll scramble out of it, and she's significantly still faster, and I'm sure the power is going to translate against someone like Shevchenko on the feet. I just don't see how Shevchenko wins this fight at this point. If this was 4 years ago, maybe. Probably. I just don't see it. Give me Zhang Weili to win by decision. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Morales is going to be 2 inches taller, 7-inch reach advantage. I mean, Jesus Christ. And an inch leg reach advantage. Now, Sean's going to have to stay as close as possible to Morales. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. 7-inch reach advantage is insane, because even if Sean Brady's at kicking range, he's going to get countered with any type of jab. I mean, Morales has a 7-inch reach advantage against him. He tends to have reach advantages against everyone. In this case, I mean, 7 inches is insane. Now, Sean obviously kind of felt like he deserved a title shot. I'm saying me, not him, because he's a dog. And stupidly, I faded him against Leon Edwards. Stupidly. I'm like, it was short notice, whatever. Leon's probably going to keep it on the feet and just smoke him. And Sean Brady proved me wrong. He proved me wrong for the first time, because I've been riding on his side this entire time, to be honest, even against Beneil. And then we have the Ecuadorian. Now, I will say, I am slightly biased when it comes to Ecuadorians. I'm half Ecuadorian, so it's sometimes very hard to separate the bias in me. It's just true. I'm sorry. It's really hard. Pause. But still, I've seen Morales before the UFC. He is a good wrestler. Defensive wrestler? We'll see. He is a great wrestler, but he's fallen in love with his hands. He has obviously an immense amount of power in his hands. It's insane. But he tends to kind of take that first round off sometimes. We've seen him struggle a little bit. He's had some close fights, or close-ish fights, we can say, like the fight against Max Griffin. He lost the first round of Max Griffin fight. I believe he lost a round in the Jake Matthews fight as well. It's just these last 2 where he's won by first round TKO. But let's be honest, Neil Magny, I mean, he first round knockout. I mean, it was like it was a spinning back elbow, but it was like he hit like Neil Magny's like temple or something, and Neil Magny just dropped. It was insane. And then Gilbert Burns. At this point, Burns, I mean, just has absolutely no chin. He got checked. I mean, he got jabbed by Usman and got dropped. Didn't really feel like he was going to do anything there. Sean Brady on a 3-fight win streak now, 2 by finish, and then just honestly beat the shit out of Gilbert Burns too, but in 5 rounds in a main event. This one's going to be scary, and I'm going to go with the proven guy. I have to go with the proven guy, and that's Sean Brady. If he's able to take Morales down, I think that he can get it done. I think he can get on his back. I really do. He's strong. Have you seen his back? It's insane. Now, he can get hit, but listen, if Brady, obviously people are going to be like, oh, Brady fought Belal and Belal TKO'd him. First of all, it was a standing TKO. He was still kind of in there, to be honest, if we're being honest here. It's not like he dropped or anything. Many other referees probably would have kept it going, and who knows how that fight would have ended up. Maybe Belal just 3-0s him. Who knows? But he spars with Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer's one of the hard. Joe Pyfer has insane power. So obviously it's a little different when you're in there. But listen, he understands that he's gonna get hit. He's gonna have to eat that shit. He's gonna have to, because there's at some point in the first or second round where he's gonna get cracked with something, and he's just gonna have to pretend like that didn't happen. I think he's gonna be able to take him down. I think he can tire him out. I think there's a chance he can choke him out. Now, Sean Brady right now, minus 148. Not the best. I think money's going to come in on Morales. You might even get Sean Brady at minus 120 at some point. Give me Sean Brady to win by submission or decision. God, I feel like a traitor. Next fight, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Now, Prates is an inch taller, 4-inch reach advantage, half-inch leg reach advantage. Obviously, we know. First of all, Leon has said he's not going to. Everyone's telling him to grapple. He thinks he can beat Prates on the feet. Listen, I think I can't say he's a better striker. He's a better all-around striker, actually. Maybe, It really depends on how much he's going to want to kick here. Because Prates does, he has very, skinny, I was going to say nice, very long, skinny legs. And he does eat some leg kicks sometimes. But listen, Leon Edwards' defense is not the greatest. It's not like an Ian Gary, when Ian Gary was trying to chop at the legs. His movement is different. I mean, he has his hands up most of the time. I mean, he tries to play it stupid sometimes, but whenever he was going in for a leg kick, I mean, he's guarding himself. Is Leon going to be able to do that? I'm not so sure. This is make it or break it for Leon. What is he on a 2-fight losing streak now? Obviously, it's not the worst in the world because you're facing stiff competition. It's when he lost the belt. And then he got choked out by Sean Brady. Listen, the Belal fight, middle of the night, whatever. Can't bitch about it. But it was the middle of the night. Then a short notice fight against Sean Brady. He was supposed to fight JDM. Who knows what could have happened in that fight, to be honest. If it was going to stay standing, who knows? Maybe he could have outclassed JDM in that fight. If it was the JDM we saw versus Belal, I don't think that probably would have happened. I still think that Leon has a lot left in the tank. And then we have Carlos Prates, who just fought a few months ago in August. Spinning back elbow with 1 second to go in the first round against Jeff Neal. His only loss in the UFC is Ian Machado Gary. And that's the first fight he lost since he was in one championship in 2019. So he was unbeaten for damn near 6 years almost. Or 5 years, let's say. And now he's, facing his toughest match, I think, personally. I think Leon is probably his toughest match, for sure. I think Ian Gary is great, but we saw after that 4th round what happened in that 5th round. I mean, he's dominating for 23 minutes, gets dropped, and then, Carlos is just looking at him like, look at you, crawling. But the one thing about Leon is, one, this is a 3-rounder. I think they're both going to be on the gas. I think Carlos Prates is going to be on the gas from the first round. I don't know how Leon's going to react to those shots. That's the issue with Leon. You just don't know what you're going to get out of him that night, and that is so annoying. It is so annoying. And it's not something you really want to deal with, honestly, because it's like what type of fighter are you going to be today? Prates is hungry after that loss to Ian Gary. You saw how he came back and beat Jeff Neal. Who's to say he can't do it here? We've seen Leon hurt before. Nate Diaz hurt him. Who knows? He's gonna have to eat some shots here. Someone's going down. I feel like this is that fight. Someone is going down. Someone is getting finished here. But I'm going to have to lean Carlos Prates just off momentum. Carlos right now, minus 175. Minus 170 just changed on me. Oh, yeah. You can go DraftKings or FanDuel. Now, he's minus 200 on FanDuel. I'm just not even going to think too hard about this one, to be honest. I think Prates is just on an absolute run. The momentum's there for him. I think he's going to be able to crack Leon Edwards and see if he can get a finish. We'll see. But someone's going down. Listen, Prates has been hurt before pre-UFC. He's been knocked out before pre-UFC. Leon has that ability to do that. Let's see if he's able to do it. Let's see if he's able to do it. Because if he's able to put him down, he's looking at a number one contender spot for sure. Oh, number one contender fight. Sorry. I think Brady Morales is probably the number one contender. Ian Gary's not going to finish Bilal, so I don't think he deserves it either. But anyways, give me Carlos Prates to win by knockout or TKO. Last fight of the main card, we have Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Denis is going to be an inch taller, 1 inch reach advantage, and Benny is going to have the half-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Beneil was on a nasty losing streak and then bounced back against Moicano in his last fight. Unanimous decision in June. He had lost to Armin and Charles by first round TKO. Before that was on an insane run, kind of got stiffed a few times, to be honest. Looking to make it 2 in a row here against BSD, who's looking to make this 3 in a row. After losing to Poirier and Moicano, he beat Propalik short notice, and Propalik is mid. And then he comes back UFC France and beats Hoofy. I mean, really dominates Hoofy, takes him down, chokes him out, looking like a real MMA fighter. And now he's facing a true MMA master in Benoit and Beneil Dariush. Now Benny is 36. He is older, and I will say this about Benny, man. That chin is not there anymore. His hands, slightly still there. That chin is not there anymore, unfortunately. I'm going to be interested to see how the grappling plays a role in this fight, to be honest. But personally, I think BSD is just going to go on a run now. He's going to make it 3 in a row. I think that Beneil is just kind of past his prime. He got dropped by Moicano in the first round. Moicano gasses and can't do anything after that. BSD will not do that. We've seen him gas before, but if he drops Benny the way Moicano did, that fight's over in that round. That fight is over. BSD minus 215. I mean, decent spot. I think he wins, and I think he probably chins him. If not, he wins at least 2 out of 3 rounds. Give me Benoit Saint Denis to win by TKO or decision. Bo Nickal versus Rodolfo Vieira. Now, Bo Nickal is going to be an inch taller, 3 inch reach advantage, 2.5 inch leg reach advantage. Now, we know Bo Nickal is trying to bounce back from his first L against RDR, but RDR seems to be very fucking good. He did win a wrestling match after that in August, but, kind of been out of the limelight since then. Now, Rodolfo Vieira, 11-3, obviously 9 wins by sub. He has a TKO win, which is so funny in my eyes. He beat Tracy Gore. He lost to Petrosky. He lost to Chris Curtis. He lost to Fluffy. He's only beaten, Petrosian, Cody Brundage. He was able to choke them out. He only wins this fight if he takes Bo Nickal down. Is he going to take Bo Nickal down? I don't think so. The only way is if he can somehow reverse Bo Nickal while Bo is on top, or he makes a mistake on the ground. Then he has a chance. If not, this is all Bo Nickal's fight. I'm not overthinking this one. I know a lot of people are going to go, Bo's mid, you have to try to be sharp with this one. Bo Nickal's going to win this fight. He's going to bounce back. This is one of the easiest matchups for him. His stand-up is kind of mid, and he's still better than Rodolfo Vieira standing. Not overthinking this one. They're giving Bo Nickal, I was going to say Bo Nix, Bo Nickal a layup here. Bo Nickal minus 245 sounds about right. Give me Bo Nickal to win by TKO or decision. Next up, Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Now, Robocop's going to be 3 inches taller, same reach, and Robocop's going to have the 2-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Kopylov is coming off of a loss against Paulo Costa, where he was a favorite. I still don't understand that. We were on Paulo Costa, he's not that washed. So, yeah, this is technically a step down in competition. This is kind of around the Chris Curtis level of fight here. Chris Curtis, where Kopylov did beat Chris Curtis before the Paulo Costa fight in the last second of the fight. Also beat Cesar Almeida by split decision before that. His 2 losses in the last, 4 years is Fluffy and Paulo Costa. Not bad, man. 2 should be top 10 fighters in the middleweight division. And he's facing Robocop, who's also, I would say, top 15, who's coming off of a win against Jack Hermanson. Now, Buddy was on a nice win streak. He was on a 3-fight win streak before losing to Cannonier, where he dropped Cannonier. Also was a favorite in that, and we had Cannonier. But just gassed out Somewhere in that third round, Cannonier was putting it on him, and then finishes him early in the fourth round. Cannonier still got it. Comes back, beats Jack Hermanson, just smokes Jack Hermanson. And now he's facing Kopylov. Now, also both offensive wrestlers. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight plays out. Power versus precision on the feet. Kopylov is much more technical. He's going to be just kind of a little bit on his back foot a little bit, just trying to circle away from the cage. Some kicks, a lot more technical. RoboCop's going to be looking to take off your head immediately. Now, I think RoboCop's the stronger fighter. I think that he's going to be able to probably keep Kopylov on the cage, just do some damage there, kicks to the thighs, just a lot of pressure. I think he's going to be able to do that more than Kopylov's going to be able to do that to him, which is why I do lean RoboCop here. Now, a lot of people are also trying to be sharp here. Kopylov's a dog, like he can absolutely win a stand-up fight against RoboCop. Sure, he can probably outstrike RoboCop, but I think Gregory Rodrigues is going to get the better of the exchanges. I think he's going to land with more power, and I think he's going to land the harder shots. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters. If he's able, just optics-wise, if he's able to land the harder shots, create more of a pop, kind of have Kopylov thinking of what he's doing, he can absolutely win a stand-up fight against someone as precise as Kopylov. Because there's a downside with that, is that sometimes you become too patient. And that's something we've seen from Kopylov before. I mean, we literally just saw that. So that could happen here too. Now, Gregory Rodrigues, minus 166. Decent. 188 now. Lines are just moving now. Minus 188. Decent. Don't love it. But I do think RoboCop wins. So give me Gregory Rodrigues to win by decision. Erin Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Now, Tracy's going to be an inch taller and have the 2.5 inch leg reach advantage. But Erin Blanchfield's going to have the half-inch reach advantage. Now, they fought in Invicta years ago, like 2019. That was Erin Blanchfield's first loss in her career. She lost by split. Streets are saying that Erin won that fight. But since then, she's put on a nice little win streak before she got absolutely woman-handled by Vieira, which was another obvious one. I'm waiting for one of these fighters. We'll actually get to that one. But I'm going to show you exactly why MMA math doesn't work in this one, okay? Puts on a nice win streak, loses to Benoit, comes back, beats Rose, has a ton of control over Rose. I mean, it was close at first, but just ultimately was able to get those takedowns, just do damage on the ground. I mean, we know that's what Erin wants to do. She's just primarily not a stand-up fighter. She's just not. She's never going to be a stand-up fighter. She's looking to take you down and choke you out. It's the reason why her last 3 fights have gone to a decision. And she has 2 TKO wins. Her last TKO win was in February of 2020, where she landed a head kick. And her other TKO win was a doctor stoppage in her first UFC fight when she was 0-0 and she fought someone who was 0-0. And that same lady's 5-7 now. She has no power on the feet. Now Tracy also kind of has no fucking power in the feet, but she's a better striker. I can confidently say that. And that's something we saw even against Jasdavicius, because obviously the wrestling cancels out. They're very similar fighters. The wrestling canceled out. It was close on the feet, but Tracy was just able to land more. Then loses to Rose. She comes in on short notice, loses to Rose, gets dropped by Rose. Wasn't close, 50-45, not close at all. Comes back, beats Vivian Araujo 3-0. She beats her cleanly. Rose, her only loss since her first fight of her career in 2017. I think that Jasdavicius fight is very important because Jasdavicius, like I said, was a very close fight. It was unanimous, but Tracy landed 103 significant strikes. But Jasdavicius landed 2 takedowns and had 3 minutes of control, but it was 2 out of 10 takedowns. She attempted 10 takedowns. The only other person that could really take her down was Rose, but I think she was more worried about Rose's stand-up. And Rose was just giving her entries were great in that fight. I don't know if Erin is going to be able to do that. I just don't think that she's going to be able to do that. Honestly, I think there's so much value with this Tracy line because people think Tracy's like mid because she only goes to decision. Erin just, I don't know. If it's Erin versus Jasdavicius, I think Jasdavicius could beat her. I know she just got TKO'd by Manon Fiorot, but it's Manon Fiorot. She was one round away from winning from winning the belt. Tracy right now is plus 186, 196. I'm gonna refresh this because I'm tired of these lines changing. Plus 196, that line keeps going up. There's value in Tracy Cortez. She might even plus 3.5 if you want to play it safe. That's safe. That's fun. I think Tracy wins this fight. Give me Tracy Cortez to win by decision. Next up, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon. Now, Wellmaker was supposed to fight Surrey City. Ends up having like 2 other opponents, and now Cody Haddon steps in. Now, Wellmaker's 3 inches taller, 2.5 inch reach advantage, 1.5 inch leg reach advantage. This one's a tough one. I think Cody Haddon is very good. Cody Haddon's very good. He's 8-1. Great prospect. 1-0. He beat Dan Argueta by decision in his first fight. Choked out Billy Brand on Contender Series, and honestly, like if you've watched some of his other fights, they're so good. His only loss is to Steve Erceg. And then we have Malcolm Wellmaker, 10-0. Beautiful story. 2-0 in the UFC, 2 first-round finishes. Granted, both cans. Cameron Simon, God knows where he is now, probably back in South Africa. And Chris Moutinho, I mean, my poor boy, got absolutely wrecked. He has so much damage in his brain. Might as well just play football. This is going to be a tough fight. Listen, there's moments that Wellmaker tends to kind of slow down a little bit because he kind of lets off too much early because he's trying to put you down. He cannot do that against Cody Haddon. He cannot do that. Cody Haddon is tough. He's going to swing back. He kind of, he's kind of flat-footed at times as well. It's going to be a very fun fight. It's going to be an interesting fight. At this point, I don't know if I could fade Wellmaker. I don't think I'm too keen on being on his side either because I think Cody's very good. And if Cody's able to take him down, who knows what this fight could look like after that. We have absolutely no idea. But that's not something I really want to risk and take a chance with at this point. On the feet, Wellmaker is just so powerful. No. I think it's gonna take someone a little bit more technical to beat someone like Wellmaker. I think Cody Haddon, like I said, is very good. It just might be a little too early. Wellmaker will potentially get checked at some point. I don't want to use the word fraud, but he will get checked at some point, and he's gonna have to dig deep. I just don't know if it's gonna be this one. Wellmaker right now minus 164, fair price. I mean, if you wanna bring this line down, just take him double chance TKO points. He's not subbing Cody Haddon. I'll tell you that right now. TKO points, you might get it to 130. Give me Malcolm Wellmaker to win by knockout or TKO. Prelims: Daukaus versus Gerald Meerschaert. Now, Daukaus is 2 inches taller, 3 inch leg reach advantage. Meerschaert 1.5 inch reach advantage. Daukaus looks pretty damn good after coming back to the UFC after being cut. And he had some great fights after that, where he went 2-0 in CFFC. Was supposed to fight someone named Chris Brown. Okay. And then he comes back in the UFC, beats Michel Pereira in 43 seconds. Has not taken any damage since June. Well, technically June of 2024. He did not take any damage against Michel Pereira. Coming back to beat to fight Gerald Meerschaert. 12-12 in the UFC. He's lost 3 straight. He's been choked out, lost by decision, and lost by TKO. I'm not gonna think too hard into this one. He hasn't won since August of 2024. He's been fighting so much. I think this is probably his last contract with the UFC, and he should probably retire. He's 37. I think Daukaus chins him at some point early in this fight. Daukaus minus 400. Not pretty, but he should win this fight. Give me Daukaus to win by TKO or decision. Next up, Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. Now, I'll tell you right now, this was one of the hardest fights for me to even to grasp of what I wanted to do. Pat's going to be an inch taller, which is surprising. An inch in reach advantage, and same leg reach. Now, Chepe is a fucking animal. He is 5-0. I've only faded him once, and I didn't even want to, and I still regret it to this day. He is 5-0. He's won his last 3 by decision. He's more of a decision fighter, let's be honest. Like, he doesn't have that much power. He's more scrappy, can hit him. Very hittable. He's a big blockhead. but he'll be in your face, and he's just going to continue just throwing. Now, big Pat Sabatini from PA is 7-2 in the UFC. He's won his last two. He beat Jonathan Pierce. He choked out Jonathan Pierce, and then he beat Joe Anderson Brito by decision in April. Since then he's had 4 grappling matches, and he's won all 4. Now, he's going to want to take Chepe down for sure. I think he might be able to. Chepe is super tough. He's strong. Like I said, he's built like a little pit bull. But I think he can take him down. On the feet, it's going to be pretty even. Obviously, like I said, Chepe probably could land more output, but it's not a lot of power, so it's not something that I'm too worried about. I only faded him once before, and like I said, I hated it. I'm a fan of Chepe, to be honest. I think at some point, someone just more skillful is going to come in his way and just beat him at his own game, or just potentially he's not going to get TKO'd, but he can get subbed, and I think the time is now. Pat Sabatini minus 136 sounds about right. He opened as an underdog, and now he's become the favorite. I think that's the right way to go. I think he's going to be able to take Chepe down, just kind of beat him up there, and either win a decision or sub him. So give me Pat Sabatini to win by submission or decision. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. Klein's going to be massive in this fight. She's 3 inches taller, 2.5 inch reach advantage. And Angela Hill's going to have the 1.5 inch leg reach advantage. Listen, at this point, Angie, she's a UFC veteran. Almost called her a legend. She's a UFC veteran. 18-15. She does not have a winning record, right, in the UFC. She's 13-15. She lost her last one to Lucinda by decision, close one, and her other one was Ricci by decision, close one. She's 1-2 in her last 3, and Fatima Klein, 8-1. Her one loss was to Jasmine Jasovicius, where she came in on short notice, so obviously she went up in weight. So Jasovicius kind of dominated her, took her down. Since then, she's 2-0, 2 finishes, 2 TKOs. She's kind of a savage. Not gonna lie. Now Angela Hill, 33 fights in her UFC career, or her professional career. She's never been TKO'd, which is why I don't think she gets TKO'd. She's lost twice by sub, 13 by decision. Fatima Klein is the way to go here. She's going to take her down. She's going to beat her ass up. She doesn't knock her out, but she could choke her out. That might be a sneaky prop. But overall, Angie, very hard to finish. Not even going to try to push towards that narrative. Probably loses a decision. Fatima Klein is minus 520. Sounds about right. Give me Fatima Klein to win by decision. Next up, I'm not even going to worry about this fight. Bossinger Susurkayev versus Eric Makhachev. Susurkayev's 2 inches taller, 1 inch reach advantage. We don't know Makhanechev's leg reach advantage. Makhachev gets cut probably after this fight. Bossinger is minus 1100. Yeah, sounds about right. He's going to get finished. Give me Bossinger Susurkayev to win by TKO or submission. And last fight of the night, Vyacheslav Borshev versus Mateusz Camilo. Borshev is going to be an inch taller. I believe they have the same reach. Camilo does have a 69 or 69.5 inch reach advantage. We don't know his leg reach. Camilo's 9-3, 0-1 in the UFC. He did get choked out by Gabe Green in May. Borshev, 8-6-1. He's 3-5-1 in the UFC. He's lost 2 in a row, 3 of his last 4. 2 by finish. Lost to Bikini in less than a minute in his last fight. Lost to Tom Nolan by decision. Beat James Lontop by split decision. And lost to Chase Hooper by Darce. I don't think Borshev is a UFC fighter. I don't think he ever was a UFC fighter. Obviously has the worst grappling in the entire world. Could get cracked as well. Going to want to keep this on the feet. I don't know if he's going to be able to. That being said, Camilo, we don't even know how good he is really, but we know what Borshev is. He's 33. Camilo's young. He's 24. He's hungry. He can't go 0-2 here. This is a must-win for him, and I think he gets it done. Mateusz Camilo right now minus 162. Not bad. Like I said, he probably wins this fight. He should win this fight, I think. Grappling-wise, he's better. Obviously, probably doesn't have the power that Borshev has, but doesn't really matter. I think he gets it done before he even feels that power. Give me Mateusz Camilo to win by TKO or submission. And that wraps up UFC 322, JDM versus Makhachev. What an absolute banger of a fight card, which is why I went a little over time than my usual self now. Usually I try to leave it at 25-ish minutes. But, I mean, such a fun fight card. Wanted to give you as much information as possible because I really do love this shit so much. So I wanted to give you guys as much as I can so you guys can, enjoy these fights, so you guys can pick these fights wisely on how you want to go about these fights in terms of picking them for your own props and whatever. And like I said, come join the Discord. It is, I believe, obviously the best Discord in the world. There's a few hundred of us there. It's not over flooded. You will be able to all talk during the entire fight card too. Like, it's so fun. I love doing that. Obviously love putting out plays as well. Like I said, I'm not going to run down the numbers again, but not just the UFC, but just absolutely crushing every other sport. So come join the squad. And most importantly, I hope you guys have a wonderful, safe, blessed rest of your week. Let's go, and let's keep cashing.